Customer came in with various old gold chains. She wanted to make a ring for her husband, so let's do it. And my assistant Lincoln is going to melt these chains. A lot of these were hollow. They were all 10 karat gold. But she had the gold, so I said, yeah, let's do it. We'll melt them down and make them into a really rustic, rugged ring for your husband. Once the gold's melted, we're going to pour it into this mold to create an ingot, and that will allow me to create the correct size stock for this ring. I'm going to open up the mold and you'll get to see what it looks like after I poured it. And there it is. There's always a little bit extra that doesn't go into the mold correctly. Now we take that stock and we run it through the rolling mill. I have very specific dimensions for this ring. It's supposed to be 7.5 millimeters wide and a finger size 8, and the ring will be about 2 millimeters thick from the inside of the finger to the outside of the band. And once I put it through the mill a few times, I have to anneal it. So this process, I bring the gold up to a red hot like this, and then quench it in water. The next step is going to be texturing. Now, she saw a video that I posted a while back and wanted the same finish. So the texture I'm putting on there is the same as in a previous video that I made. And there we are at 2 millimeters thick. And so we go on our chart, 2 millimeters thick, and she wants a finger size 8. So that is the number we need. That's how long the stock needs to be to create the finger size 8. So I'm going to get that on my digital calipers just to the exact right millimeter size. I'll scribe a line and we'll cut this piece off. The funny thing is, calipers, I go through a few of those every year, it seems. They tend to break or get dirty and they quit working, so then I end up buying a new set. So I'm just squaring off the end so I can make sure I have a nice straight line. And we have a little bit extra, which is good. You always want a little extra when you're making one of these rings, just to ensure that you have enough stock. It's always better to have a little too much than not enough. So she supplied just the right amount of chain for me to melt and make that stock. We're going to bend it into the ring shape using this ring bender. And we just go round and round till we have the seams that line up nicely. And we'll solder it together with our gold solder. And once that flows, we will round it out and start the process of finishing the ring. The finishing process is always the most tedious portion of the ring making experience. But you know what? There's a lot of satisfaction in it, because once it's finished, you're like, wow, I can't believe this was a pile of chain before, and now it created a ring with it. So I'm smoothing out the edges, marking it with a marker, and then this ring's going to get a comfort fit. So I'll scribe a line, and we're going to grind out the comfort fit. So I do that on all my rings. It just makes them a lot easier to wear for comfort reasons. You don't have a sharp edge on the inside, hurting your finger or anything like that. So it's always a benefit to the wearer of the ring to have the nice, smooth comfort fit. That's just something I love to do on every single ring that I make. And this process of finishing it, I go from filing to sanding with 3 different grits, and then it'll get a final polish. But it takes a while. You go from one grit to another, and on all surfaces. So the inside of the ring, and then the sides of the ring, and then the top of the ring. But in this case, the top of the ring is going to keep the texture, so I'm not going to do a lot to the top. But I am going to remove the sharp edge on the top corner. So that's what I'm doing here with the file. But once again, after the file, then I have to go through all my sanding sticks, I should say, and get it down to where I can polish it. And that's what I'm doing here. Always the inside of the ring, then the sides, then the top. That's the process of finishing a ring. Inside, side, top, every single time. And we'll put it in the cleaner and let it soak for a bit. Once it comes out of the cleaner, this is what it looks like. But we don't want a shiny finish on this one. We are going to brush finish it with a Scotch-Brite pad. That was the request, a satin finish over the texture. It's similar to a video I made in the past, and that's exactly what she wanted. So there it is, a finished ring in 10 karat gold with a heavy texture and a satin finish. I've been making jewelry over 18 years, but it still surprises me what you can make with a pile of old chains or old rings or old gold and melt it down and transform it into something completely new. Now, this ring will last for generations, and they'll probably be able to pass it down to the children.